Hey, it's Stephanie Lowe here, health, wealth, and real estate. How are you guys doing today? I am out in nature, doing my thing, enjoying the peaceful view, the water, and I wanted to take a couple minutes to talk with all of you about managing and dealing with trauma and tough situations. So this is some information I wanted to share with you, and then also give you guys that little bit of strategy and insight onto, how to better manage some of these tough things and situations that we know that are part of life that come up. So I first wanted to talk about our stress response. So I'm sure many of you are familiar with the idea of the fight or flight, that state of being in fight or flight. So we have some different regions in our brain. If we were to say this was our brain, okay, along where my fingernails are, my fingertips there, that would be like your prefrontal cortex, and that's as we're engaging with things throughout the day, energy goes there. Then in here, around where my thumb is, we are going to be, we're going to be looking at that region of the brain, and we're looking more into like the amygdala and the hippocampus. So our hippocampus is like the area of our brain that focuses on processing those initial thoughts and storing them as memory. As we're learning new ideas, we're thinking rationally, we're thinking critically, and coming up with, prescribing meanings to different situations. So when we're in that state of fight or flight, the amygdala, that region of the brain, is releasing the hormones that help to make you more like hyper-vigilant. So you're aware, you're ready, you're like looking out, looking for signs of danger or harm, and really more in a reactive state. How can I avoid getting into danger? How can I avoid trauma and get out of the situation as fast as possible? So that fight or flight situation, where again maybe the fears are not as rational. We're being a little hasty, and we might even term that as some of our like lower level, more instinctual type of reactions to situations. Okay, so if you're in a state of chronic stress, so dealing with the day-to-day struggles or whatever it is, and you're just feeling like that sense of general anxiety, you're feeling the pressure, you're having trouble sleeping, you might be a little bit more irritable, again, just like wondering what's going to happen next. I don't know how I'm going to make it out of the situation. That sort of state. If you're in that state for a longer period of time, we call that like chronic stress. Okay. The other stressor could actually be coming up and experiencing a trauma, so something very extreme, and that could be a death of a loved one, and that could be something, you're in war, like these kind of really extreme traumatic cases. In both cases, as I said, it's really involving that amygdala, that fight or flight. But when you don't process the trauma, or you don't do something to alleviate that day-to-day stress that you're going in, you actually get yourself into a little bit of a cycle. You get yourself into that cyclical thinking, that ruminating on your fears and the stress, and you start picking up on triggers and things that you think remind you of the stressor, right? And so again, you're always now living in that state. And because that brain, that center of the brain, where that hippocampus that is actually helping us to process things better, to think rationally, to actually contribute to existing in that state of peace and calm, that area of your brain is actually shrinking with the continual release of cortisol. So not only are you dealing with the day-to-day stressors of life, but your physiology, your brain, is actually adapting to support that cyclical type of thought processes and those fight or flight reactions to day-to-day stressors. So what can we do about this? Well, I wanted to talk to you guys about how we can actually help to balance out and help to like retrain our brain, almost like doing brain surgery on yourself and starting to get yourself into a state of calm and peace and slow the release of cortisol so that we can start to increase the volume in that area of our brain that deals with, as I said, that learning, processing the information that's coming into that prefrontal cortex and actually making sense of it. And instead of being in a reactive state, moving over into a responsive state. So that's really where we want to be, where we can go through something and think about how we want to respond and what outcome we want, and how can we adjust our behaviors accordingly to match out with what it is we actually want to achieve and see as an outcome. Okay, so we're really talking about not only how our behaviors and thoughts can contribute to our stressors and staying in that state, but how to actually create a bit of a, not a bit, but create a shift and to see a change and to see more peace and happiness in our life. So what can we do? Well, I chat a lot on my channel about obviously health, wealth, real estate, about how to make sure our mind is in an optimal state, to make sure that our bodies are healthy and we're making good decisions to have an abundant lifestyle, abundance in mind, body, and in bank account. And so one of the things that I have found over time and that studies actually support is actually taking time to get out into nature, okay, connect with the ground. I know you guys may have heard of like grounding, so walking on the grass barefoot actually realigns your cells and creates like energetic balance for you. We are energetic beings when you study our cells and how our functions in our brain actually works, okay? So we need to take time daily to just quiet ourselves, to eliminate and give our bodies a break from that, again, releasing of consistent cortisol and stress and anxiety on our bodies, and actually allow our brains time to like process things. So every day you want to set some time aside and you want to do some breath work, you want to breathe, you want to get out in nature. And one study, for looking at a certain technique, mindfulness-based stress reduction, what we're actually doing is we're setting aside for, let's say, like an 8-week period. You want to set this aside, okay? And you want to get out 45 minutes every day and practice your breathing. Take time to listen to the water, to look at the sky, and chill out. 45 minutes a day to relax and reconnect and ground yourself. Now, another part of the study is actually taking time out and connecting with somebody like a retreat center, a meditation center, a specialist, a yoga teacher, a psychologist, whoever it is, to help to train you and help you to learn how to breathe properly and how to take time to actually meditate and scan your body and be more present. So you can actually observe the things that are going on around you. So as part of this mindfulness-based stress reduction, it's probably about 2.5 hours once a week, and just taking that time to get the proper training and learn how to bring yourself into that state of calm. And again, that's going to help to reverse and retrain and create new neural pathways in your mind, where we can see that area of your brain that is rational and calm and can support your thinking and new learning habits. We want to actually allow that area of the brain to increase and break that cycle, that physiological cycle of keeping you in a place of dis-ease, right? So I'll take you guys through a very brief little breathing exercise, grounding exercise. And of course, you can reach out to me, Stephanie, Health, Wealth, and Real Estate. I've got lots of little videos posted on different meditations and yoga practices and whatnot that you can continue to use on a regular basis, again, to bring yourself into that state of calm. So we're going to do it now. So first step is to just have a seat and get comfortable. All right, so you could be sitting. I'm on the dock here. You're going to sit comfortably. Sit nice and tall. Maybe put your feet in the grass if you can, and close your eyes. So with that body and spine aligned, you're going to take a deep breath in through your nose, breathe in the air, and then you're going to exhale and let it all out. All right, and again, nice big deep breath in. Breathe in as much air as you possibly can. You can feel that expansion, that moment where the breath is in, and then you're going to fully exhale. Allow that belly to come in towards the spine and let it all out. And so here we're just bringing that attention towards the breath, and the breath is going to ground us in the moment and help us to be more aware. So you're sitting and you're breathing. And from here, we can think about bringing the attention just towards the top of your head and begin to just scan through your body, looking for any sensations that you feel. Can you feel the breeze, the temperature of, you know, the air, if you're inside or outside, just anything that can bring your attention again into the moment as you scan through. And it's very common to have intrusive thoughts, so thoughts of what you have to do later, thoughts of the kids, the family, work, whatever it may be, but you want to just allow those thoughts to happen without any judgment. So the thoughts arise and you take a deep breath and you breathe it out and you let it go, and you're just bringing yourself again back into the present moment. And I would say to set a little timer if you can, and just practice this. You can start with 5-10 minutes, but gradually we want to build and build. And like I said, a great goal is to be able to attempt to see about 45 minutes a day of just meditation, calmness, presence, again, getting out in nature and just reconnecting, grounding and rebalancing to allow and facilitate even physiologically that state of optimal well-being and peace and happiness and joy. And even in that state, guys, we're really talking about trauma and stress. Once you can break some of that cyclical thinking, that negative thought patterns, negative reactive behaviors, ruminating thoughts of what's next, what's next, what's next. If you can actually start to break that, you can actually start to experience more peace of mind and new situations and more happiness and more fulfillment. And that's what I want for you guys. So thanks so much for being with me today. I hope you enjoyed that little activity. I definitely challenge you to start a daily meditation, yoga, mindfulness practice, so you can have, again, more abundance in mind, body, and bank account. I'm going to take my time here on the dock now. I've really been enjoying it, getting out on the paddleboard, getting on the water, and yeah, just being in that good place, in a happy place. So I'll see you all soon. See you guys again. Stephanie, Health, Wealth, and Real Estate.